What's up, YouTube? This is James coming back at you with another informative video. I hope everybody's doing well out there on this Sunday morning. I'm doing pretty good myself. I'm up pretty early simply because I slept all day yesterday. I was pretty tired. I guess I needed the rest. It may have had something to do with the fact that me and my wife was out at Myers pretty late. What was it? Saturday morning, probably about 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. Took that long to shop. And I'm telling you, the shelves in that place was like desolate. Shout out to Annette D for sending me these pictures right here. I guess, she took a picture of the store shelves of where she shops. And like I told her, the shelves in the store that we were in looked just like identical, to the pictures that she sent me here. It was like identical. And of course, there was no toilet paper. I guess people don't want to be caught without that. You can't blame them, when it comes to that. But this coronavirus shit has just got everything down on lockdown. You know what I mean? You got schools closing down, jobs and stuff like that, taking extra precautions. For the employees, you got to do things a little bit more different now. Work, sites, places like that, people getting sick. What else? Even over in China, a matter of fact, we're going to get into that story. I don't know how this happened, but it was a place where I think 70 people was quarantined, right? And I guess coronavirus made the building collapse some kind of way on these people. Yeah, we'll get into that a little later. Corona. And I put a little humor in the situation because I figured, we need that. Of course, y'all see the title. Let's kick back and have a Corona, and chill from all this madness, with the coronavirus. Because you can't go out, you can't cut your TV on and not hear about the Corona. You can't cut your radio on. You're hearing about coronavirus, and everything. But let's check out some of these pictures that Annette sent me here. This is a shelf right here. And like I said, Myers, with the store where we shop, pretty much looks just like this right here. It hardly had anything on there. This is a blur one right here. But yeah, it's pretty much empty and everything. People just buying up everything. They just pretty much panicking behind the coronavirus. See? Of course, now they say black people like chicken more than anybody, but I can assure you where we shop, Myers, is predominantly where white people shop. All right? And there was no chicken whatsoever. No wings, no drumsticks, no thighs. You know what I mean? My favorite, I'm talking about none, no chicken at all. That kind of stuff. So, they bought all the chicken. And like I said, the shelves pretty much identical. Same way. Look at all the cleaners and stuff like that. Balled out. Laundry detergents. I think this would be a good time to invest if you can, though, in cleaning aids and things like you might, make a nice, turn a nice dollar. Who knows? That one's kind of blurry. But yeah, you got pretty much them chips right there, I guess. Too many people messing with those. I mean, this stuff look like some off of, I don't know, the day the world ended or something. This is messed up. It's almost like one of those messed up zombie movies. Things are just looking abandoned. See? It's crazy. Well, I guess that concludes the pictures. Now we can get into some of the stories. Let's check these stories out. First of all, let's get into this story. Shout out to the sister Queen, I Know Who I Am, who sent me this story about coronavirus is affecting black hair care businesses, vendors say. Shop owners wait for inventory to clear and ship from China as customers fear that the wigs and weaves in stock might be contaminated. Yes, That's another thing. Like I said, yeah, we're not messing around with going into the restaurants and eating the General Toes or General So's, sweet and sour chicken and all that. Now y'all got to worry about wearing these damn wigs and weaves because you never know, they could be contaminated. But to get into the story, it says here black hair care business in the United States may soon struggle to fill customer orders on wigs and weaves. The hair shortage is reportedly from China and other areas heavily impacted by the global coronavirus. And global is a good word for it. Because, like I said, it was like Monday night, I heard about the coronavirus. By Friday, it was all over the fucking world. All over the country. People just started getting coronavirus. It's crazy. Even entertainers are getting coronavirus. Or suspected of having coronavirus. Charles Barkley, they said, may have it. Who is it? Tom Hanks and his wife or whoever that woman is, she's said to have it. And some basketball player, he joked about having it and he said he's got it. So, I mean, this is just crazy. But to continue, it says Chanel Wallace, who runs District Cheval, Cheval, in Bowie, Maryland, told WUSA 9 that she's already seeing it firsthand. Wallace said she ordered hair extensions in January, but has yet to receive her order from China. Yeah, you might want to leave that alone because I know things are going to be pretty tight. They stranding people on the seas. A matter of fact, like I said before, in San Francisco, there's a cruise ship. It's stranded in the water. People there are under quarantine because people has tested positive for coronavirus. So yeah, you probably won't be getting any, as far as trade go, when it comes down to buying hair products or whatever from China of all places. It's going to be a tight ban on that. But to continue, it says, I just never imagined coronavirus would affect me. Being in the States, Wallace told the station, not directly as far as being sick, but my business. Wallace said her vendor is blaming the delay on the coronavirus. They finally reached back out to me and said, due to the virus, everyone, I'm guessing, is quarantined and they're not able to go to work. Wallace told WSA 9. Plus, she said customers are starting to express their wariness of hair coming from China. Yeah, right. Nobody want to. You gonna take a hit on this. What's her name? Chanel Wallace. You gonna have to take a hit on this. This ain't no joke. See, when they get their hair, they ask, is it going to be contaminated? She added. The coronavirus, also known as COVID-19, which I like to translate that as covert 19, like some kind of covert plan, put this shit out as some biological weapon to fuck people up. Population control maybe. Hey, that's just a theory. I'm just pretty much sliding that out there. You know what I mean? But yeah, my opinion, that's that. But has already killed 6 people in the United States and more than 30,000 globally. A top virus expert told CBS News on Monday that the pandemic could spread to 70% of the world's population. That's a lot. Damn, that's a lot. That's going to kill a lot of people if that's the case. In addition to the sickness and deaths, is leaving in its path, COVID-19 is also heavily impacting travel, the stock market, and numerous businesses that rely on products from devastated areas. Stephanie Nolan, who lives in Prince George County, Maryland, told WUSA 9 that her company, what's this, XOXO version here, is also feeling the effects of the deadly disease. Due to the coronavirus, the measures taken to cut down on the virus in China people aren't allowing to go, well, allowed to go to or really return to work, Nolan told WUSA 9. Yeah, ain't much you can do about this, man. Matter of fact, you shouldn't want any hair from that place. You know what I'm saying? As far as I'm concerned, because you might take a chance in the shipment, you open the shipment, grab the shipment, you get it. I'd rather, take a hit on my business than get coronavirus on the real. Shit. But to continue, it says here, this is affecting her bottom line as the laws of supply and demand come into play. Some areas not hit as hard as China are taking advantage of this hair shortage by jacking up prices. Wallace said, I can get hair somewhere, but the price point is just much higher. Wallace told WSA 9. Maybe higher, but it may be safer too. But then again, maybe not. Because if they getting the hair, where are they getting the hair from? They're probably ordering from the same vendors you order from. Who knows? They could have ordered theirs a lot, sooner than when you put a cap on this shit to even get that hair. But a lot of women gonna have to probably stop wearing wigs and weaves and stuff like that. Maybe that's what it's gonna put a big dent in that too. But in conclusion, it says here, as to the customers' worries that hair from China, when it does come, could be contaminated, information on the Centers of Disease Control, Centers for Disease Control's website seems to allay those fears. The CDC says, for the most part, the virus dies on surfaces. Hey, look, I heard that shit actually can live on viruses. First, I heard it was like up to 8 to 9 hours or something like that. Then it said it can live on surfaces for like 3 days. So you don't know what to believe with that. You really don't. But it goes on to say there is likely very low risk to spread from product of packaging that are shipped over a period of days or weeks at ambient temperatures. The agency wrote on its website, coronaviruses are generally thought to be spread most often by respiratory droplets. Yeah, pathogens. Pathogens. Somebody around breathing and shit like that. I can tell you this. Stay out of buffets. Don't go around buffets. None of that shit. So you go around buffets, then you might get coronavirus. Let's get into the next story. Now, this story right here, as you see, it says quarantine horror. Coronavirus hotel quarantine collapses with 10 people killed and 23 missing in China. This is a little short 34-second video. Let's check it out. The hotel collapsed. Coronavirus got not only the power to make people sick, but it can collapse hotels too. Wow. Okay, it says here 10 people have died and 23 are missing after a hotel being used as a quarantine for coronavirus patients collapsed in China. The 5-story building crumbled in Chinese city of Quanzhou in Fujian province on Saturday, sparking a desperate hunt for survivors. I'm sure I butchered those names right there, but hopefully y'all get the idea. It goes on to say, it says what we just read here about the 10 people that were killed, and the place was used as a quarantine for them. It says here it is unclear what caused the collapse of the hotel in southeastern China. A woman is rescued from the rubble, with 23 still missing. Wow. Firefighters rescue a man from a collapsed hotel which was housing quarantined people. At the time of the collapse, 58 people had been in isolation in the hotel and had all tested negative for the deadly bug. It has been reported that there were also 16 hotel staff and 6 car dealership employees at the site. Rescue crews managed to rescue 48 people. However, 23 remain unaccounted for after the building collapsed about 7:30 local time. The 80-room hotel had recently been converted into a quarantine for coronavirus patients. It is unclear just what caused the building collapse. Rescue workers in orange were filmed floating to the scene. Flooding to the scene of the collapse. Man, shit. What about the people that had tested negative? Shit, I've been trying to get out of that place. But to continue, it says we are using we are using the detection instruments to monitor signs of life and professional breaking into to make forcible entries. We are trying our utmost to save trapped people, said Guan Yutun, squadron leader of the Kwazon Armed Police Detachment's mobile unit in Fujian province. Government said that as of Friday, the province had 296 cases of coronavirus and 10,819 people had been placed under observation after being classified as suspected close contacts. China has been worst hit by the deadly virus with more than 80,000 cases. Damn, that's a lot. And like I said, it just keeps growing. It's all over the place. Big time, Rescue workers sift through the twisted metal and bid to find survivors. The 5-story building was reduced to rubble. Around 70 people were said to be trapped in the rubble. Yeah, we know that. I mean, wow, look at all that. That's twisted. Do you think coronavirus did that? Nah, I don't think so. I think they might have had a little help. That building had some help. It kind of goes back to 9/11, when they were saying, a lot of people think, that was an inside job. This could have been too, who knows? But to continue, there are currently more than 100,000 cases of coronaviruses recorded globally, with almost 3,500 deaths. In the UK, 2 deaths have so far been recorded, with 206 cases. Dr. Richard Hatchett, I almost said Ratchet. Dr. Richard Hatchett, who leads up the Coalition for Epidemic Preparedness Innovation, said the government needs to adopt an aggressive response to tackle the virus. He said, "This is the most frightening disease I've ever encountered in my career, and that includes Ebola. It includes MERS." Damn, I never heard of that one. And it also, it includes SARS. Okay, also. Yeah. I think the most concerning thing about this virus is the combination of infectiousness and the ability to cause severe disease or death. And he described the spread of the virus. No, let me read that again. And he describes the fight against the spread of the virus was like being at war. The chilling development means governments battle plan with inevitability. Excuse me, people. Let me get this word out. Inevitably reach. All right. The delay stage, meaning large-scale events such as the London Marathon may be canceled and the elderly put into lockdown. There's a lot of things going to be canceled. That's it. What was that? March Madness canceled. None of that. None of that basketball. None of that. A lot of people disappointed because of that as well. But be that as it may, the story continues. Children will also be allowed to schoolwork, complete schoolwork from home, and 1 in 5 workers could be forced to stay away from the office. Just 1 in 5? Shit. Ooh, this coronavirus ain't no joke. Now, what we finna do is bring this on home. I'm gonna tell y'all what's really going on with the coronavirus, okay? Now, here it is right here. In conclusion, all right? It says, is the coronavirus an end time sign? End times sign. Bible warns there will be pestilence in the last days, okay? This article right here may shed more light on what's going on, all right? Because the Bible does talks about, pestilence, and coronavirus is a pestilence disease, But it says here, Revelations chapter 6, verse 5 through 8 says that in the final days, the world will be rocked by subsequent famines and plagues, all right? In the United States, the U.S., cases of coronavirus have crossed 800 and the death toll has risen over 20, with an even larger impact globally. Around the world, there are over 118,000 cases and over 4,200 deaths from the virus. Luke chapter 21, verse 11 cautions us that there will be a pestilence in various places and fearful events in the final days. While we don't know if the pestilence Jesus mentions refers directly to COVID-19, is it a warning? That's what it says. Is it a warning? Okay? And we know what I said about COVID-19. Covert-19. But to continue, the word pestilence comes from the Greek word loimus, which means plague, a fatal epidemic disease. There are many who believe that the pestilence that Jesus spoke about will be fulfilled in the first 3.5 years of the 7-year tribulation period that follows the rapture. Okay, recently there has been a wave of other biblical plagues. This has many wondering if the remaining 6 will strike soon. According to Jewish tradition, all of the plagues that struck Egypt will appear before the final redemption. Now, I don't know if a lot of y'all are familiar with what happened with all those locusts. Some locusts popped up, and they said that was going to happen too. I think it was some locusts over in Africa. Wow, man. There was so many of them things. Let me just say this. If I had I'm going to say a dime for every one that it was, I wouldn't have to work. That's how many it was, right? I'll be automatically rich. But to continue, the Bible talks about the first plague in Exodus chapter 7, verse 20, which says, Moses and Aaron did as the Lord commanded. In the sight of Pharaoh and in the sight of his servants, he lifted up the staff and struck the water in the Nile, and all the water in the Nile turned into blood. Guess what? That happened too. I know I'm saying that's happened since too. I think it was, what was it, last year? Just last year, or it could have been in January. There was a place that like water turned into blood. Any one of y'all can just put that in Google. It'll show you. You'll see it. That's happened, But to continue, it says, last year, there were signs of the first plague appearing with water turning into blood. See, that's it. There were several cases of rivers turning blood red reported in different spots around the world, according to Breaking Israel News. There were also signs of the 7th plague, hail, late last year, with hail showing up in many unexpected locations. Some of these included Saudi Arabia, which was hit by baseball sized hail, and Switzerland, South Africa, where the hail was so intense that it killed a herd of cows. Wow. Damn. Yeah. Woo. What really caught attention was the biblical mix of fire and ice that struck in Australia as ice storms. Okay? Now we know what's been going on in Australia. The Bible addresses this in Exodus chapter 9, verse 22, which says, Hashem said to Moshe, okay? Hashem, I'm not sure what Hashem is. I think Moshe is Moses, you know. Hold out your arm towards the sky, that hail may fall on all the land of Egypt, upon man and beast, and all the grasses of the field in the land of Egypt. Recently, Saudi Arabia was hit with massive infestations of bugs, specifically locusts. Yeah, that's it. Locusts, which is the 8th plague. While natural causes were blamed for the insect's appearance, the image of locusts were quickly connected with the plague. Exodus chapter 10, verse 15 speaks of the 8 plagues, which says, they covered the faces of the whole land, so that the land was darkened, and they ate all the plants in the land and all the fruit in the trees, or the fruits of the trees, that the hail had left. Not a green thing remained it, neither tree nor plant of the field, through all of the land of Egypt. The final plague that has recently appeared is darkness. Exodus chapter 10, verse 21 speaks of this plague when it says, Then the Lord said to Moses, Stretch out your hand toward heaven, that there be darkness over the land of Egypt, a darkness to be felt. In August 2017, the total solar eclipse that crossed the continental U.S. was followed by one of the most catastrophic hurricane seasons that we've seen in our nation's history. Following this, on January 21st of last year, we experienced a lunar eclipse that passed over the country with major biblical significance. Do you believe God is warning us? When do you believe these signs are pointing? What do you believe these signs are pointing to? Well, hey, it's the Bible fulfilling itself, and I know the Father is warning us. He's been doing it, but hey, we are getting closer to the new beginning. So that just means that the old got the end before the new comes in. All right. So anybody talking about there's no such thing of a Messiah, it's your free will to want to believe that. That's what if you think life's going to be any better for you. But I don't know how you can say that when it says here that Jesus mentions refers directly to COVID-19. Is it a warning? See, the Messiah actually, he did a lot of these prophecies. He said he prophesied a lot of these things going to happen, and you still don't want to believe. Well, that's on you. But anyway, that's just what I want to, share with you guys about coronavirus. So make sure, you know what I mean, for those of you that have not repented, if you care about your soul and you want to live, eternally, then what you need to do is repent in the name of Yahushua.